Today, at home with National Media Pastor Gerald Gyane and his wife, Mrs Christina Gyane. They'll talk to us about life in lockdown and how they're helping to lead our church's media efforts. They'll also explain what it's like to receive a call into ministry and the glorious future ahead of them both. It's all ahead on At Home with Nancy Mills.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for taking out time to speak with me this evening. I know how busy it is, like with meetings and phone calls and everybody just being available to speak to. I was even saying earlier that I found that church is a lot more busier now than it was when we were physically meeting, because I feel like we don't have to check if we're clashing in calendars anymore. So anyone and everyone will just have a meeting.
No.
And everyone will get involved. But it's been good. I've been enjoying the content. Yeah.
And I guess because everyone is meant to be locked down at home, so we all assume that everyone will be at home. So everyone takes advantage. Let's meet. It's just non-stop.
Yeah, that's true. Non-stop. And just to ask, how's it been for you guys? How are you guys genuinely doing? Working from home, being inside. What's the last 10 weeks now? How have they been for you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think for me, it took some adjusting. I mean, for work, I work from home once a week anyway.
Okay.
But just being at home for a long period of time, not being able to go out, it felt really claustrophobic. So I had to try and make more use of the garden and stuff.
Yeah.
But I have really appreciated the time to rest. I was saying to someone, they were like, how are you? I was like, I've had rest upon rest upon rest. I'm even tired of rest. But I know that as soon as the season passes, I'm going to miss it so much. Yeah. And so, I have really appreciated that time just to be able to do stuff at home and, spend more time with Gerald. If it wasn't for COVID, Gerald would be in Birmingham and I'll be here by myself. So
that's so
it's
crazy.
It's a blessing in disguise for me on that part.
I think I'd agree as well. It's been good. Being at home. It's been busy, but a different kind of busy. A busy that I prefer than the before COVID busy, because before COVID it was just hectic all over the place. But this is different. It's despite everything that's been going on with the fears, the bad news, the casualties, the critical illnesses and so on. I found time to be able to just reflect on life and just reflect on my walk with God, on our walk, on our relationship. You just get that time just to look at things in a different way altogether, which you wouldn't normally get before COVID. Because before COVID, everything was just fast-paced. But there's a little bit of a breather here, and it's been really, really useful, really helpful for us anyway. So I'm loving it. I'm not complaining at all.
That's good. That's good. You did mention that, both of you mentioned that you've actually taken this opportunity to sort of spend more time with each other. Would you say the dynamics of your marriage has kind of changed? Because obviously it's different. Oh, in the morning you go out, I'll see you in the evening later, to literally seeing this person every day for the last 2 months, 24 hours a day. Would you say the dynamics of your home life has changed because of that?
I mean, it was already different before COVID, because I was in Birmingham, and she was here, and so it was different, and the fact that we were separated for those few months that we were away, it did give us a different perspective on our relationship, and I guess it even brought us even closer, because before COVID, we hadn't spent this much time away from each other. Was it 2 months? 2 months away. We hadn't spent that much time away from each other. And so it was different. But COVID, as Christina said, has been a blessing in disguise, in that the fact that we were separated from each other and then we came back as a result of COVID, we've been able to, I think it has strengthened us even more in ways that we didn't even imagine. I keep on learning new things about her, and I'm like, oh, so is that how you are? Okay. Right.
I really feel that I've spent a lot of time with you, because Gerald, as you know, I'm sure you know, he's a big teaser. He likes teasing, he likes playing games. Oh Lord, like I really feel like I've spent time with you.
Now you've really spent time.
She's trying to say she's had enough.
It's code word for like.
I think she wants me out.
Oh man. And yeah, so also in regards to like church, especially with Christina, in regards to content in this time, I mean, before, like, your services were used, like we needed things for like conferences, normal Sunday services, midweek meetings, but now we can't meet physically. Anyone and everyone wants a meeting, they want online content, they need to have links set up, and you know, it doesn't come naturally to everybody. So I understand that with you, your services are in high demand at the moment, and to be honest, the Church of Pentecost, one across the world and in the UK, has definitely risen up to the challenge in making sure that their congregation is still, you know, taken care of in this time. How have you managed to balance that with the fact that you are still working from home?
Yeah, it has, you know, had its toll sometimes, because work particularly it can be quite stressful. I spend most of the week working. So the time that I do get to either, you know, spend on media or at home, I guess with media as well, I try not to see it as a second job. You know, where I'm going from one job and it's like, oh, I have to do all this media work, and so let me do this. I really try and space out the media work so that it continues to be a hobby that I enjoy and that I desire. So when it comes to liaising with the districts on media stuff, and even now national on media, I do try and, you know, space it out to make sure that I'm not overwhelmed. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like now, online services, it's just amazing the way that everyone, even like demographics that have never used online services before, and now like they've become used, like they actually like it, you know, and they've become used to it. I'm sure once COVID passes, a lot of people will still maintain a lot of online, you know, interactions and stuff, because it's just so useful. But balancing it can be difficult, but then especially on the media side, I just try and space it out, you know, as much as possible.
And I mean, for the both of you, it would have been so easier, like you said, for the demographics to just say that, okay, we can't go to church, we're just going to be at home, and then we'll all pray, and then we'll just do what we're doing. Why do you think it's important to make sure that they're taken care of, and then you're assisting them and helping them and making sure that they do have access to either their online services or just to each other? Why do you think it's so important that we've kept our body and the church engaged during this time?
I think church as we know it's not a building. It's the people. The people make the church, you know. And so wherever Christians find themselves, if they want to gather under a tree, that is church. And so the same way that we will look after them if they were in a building, it's the same way that we do even so now, but even more importantly now, especially because of this invisible enemy that we can't see. And so we need to be our brother's keeper. We need to even do more just to look out for each other, do random follow-up checkups just to ensure that everyone is in good health, pray for each other, and that kind of thing. But I think this whole COVID crisis has just brought everything into light as to how we just need to look out more for each other, because before COVID, I think it's something that we used to take for granted. We just assume that everyone is okay.
It's okay.
But with it now, where everyone has to stay indoors, you can't go out. People even with mental health, people are struggling even being at home, and so it's very, very critical for church leaders, for even members as well, just to ensure that you go an extra mile, basically, just to look out for your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, and so on, your neighbor, and that kind of thing. And so
And then I just want to go on to next, probably before we go. So the rest of the year, I mean, entering 2020, I think nobody saw this coming. Like, we had no clue that this was going to happen. I remember New Year's Eve like it was yesterday. I was praying that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. I haven't left my house in 2 months. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So because of that, like, adapting to our new way of living for the rest of the year. You did mention earlier that you were in Birmingham initially and then you've had to come home, and you now need to think about what that's going to look like for you for the rest of the year, finding out where you're going to be going. How would you say that you're going to adapt to this new way of living and still manage to fulfill your role and your post that you're going to come into?
You want to hit this?
What, because you don't want to go first?
Go for it.
Oh gosh. I think just this journey itself has already been, just one of kind of uncertainty, going into the unknown.
Yeah.
So, this coming in as well, it's just like, well, I was already unsure. It's just added to the level of uncertainty,
Yeah.
So I guess it hasn't I guess phased too much in terms of we've already kind of taken that step where we've just said, okay, God, lead, take the wheel, Jesus, take the wheel. But I think in terms of how maybe we'll need to change, it's going to be interesting. But I think just a lot more online meetings to try and understand our territory a lot better, because at the moment we're not even exactly sure where we're going. Yeah. So I guess it's just almost using different means to kind of understand the landscape and what's required and what we need to do. It's an interesting one. This one we definitely need revelation from God.
He has to tell you what to do.
I agree with Chris. I think it's another level of going into the unknown. Because as you said before 2020 31st night, we were all excited in jubilation. Yes. 2020 entering into a new decade, honestly. And then first Saturday of the year, takeover happens and you're like, this is gonna be bam. And then 2 months later, COVID, and everything just changes, literally everything. Even though you were frightened going into this unknown, for us anyway, going into this unknown period, going into full-time ministry, it's just taken on another level. And the question that you asked before regarding what we've been doing, for me, COVID has made me put on weight because she's been feeding me too much. She's been feeding me too much, and so I've had to take up jogging. And so I've been going jogging, and I found it really refreshing. I found it really refreshing just getting out of the house and just and I've used it to also channel all my insecurities and my fears. And so whilst I'm running, whilst I'm walking, I'm talking to God. I'm just saying, God, this is it. We're nearly there. What really do you require of us for the next, exactly for the next few months, for the next year, and that kind of thing. And so it's really been helpful, and I've been taking the time to just deepen my roots spiritually in God, because at the end of the day, it's Him that has called us, and the people that we are going to are His people. They're not our people. Exactly. And so it requires direction from the person that knows the people, so that we can ultimately serve them the best way possible. And so it's just been a case of just Psalm 23 talks about leading me beside still waters. And so when I go on a run, I always find that spot whereby I'm just like, this is a cool place. Let me just have a one-to-one with God and just let's just talk. And so even though we don't know where exactly we're going to be based or where we will end up, essentially, I think, just the sole fact that we've been able to take this time just to reflect and spend time with God, spend time with each other, we're just relying on him just to lead us in whatever way he's going to do so. And so it's just a case of opening up our hearts and our spirits to what he has for us. Yeah.
Amen. Well, thank you so much, guys. It was nice and sweet to catch up with you, and obviously just to make sure you guys are okay. It's nice to like see friendly faces, especially when you haven't like met up with people in a while. So thank you. Please do
cyber hug.
Yes, virtual hug. And take care. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Amen. Thanks. Bye.
Next time.
Don't think we've had a women's leader in the middle of like a global crisis. There's no one you can actually like copy from or learn from. So how have you been finding the last couple of months?
Yes, that's actually quite a good question.